talk about healing, baby. Let's talk about healing, baby. Let's talk about healing, baby. Let's talk about healing. Let's talk about healing, baby. Let's talk about healing, baby. Let's talk about healing, baby. Let's talk about healing. Let's talk about healing, baby. Let's talk about healing, baby. Let's talk about healing, baby. Let's talk about healing. And I believe I will. Hey, what's up? What's up? This is your girl, Felicia, Lynette, Refocused, and we are getting ready to talk about healing. Do me a favor, grab your partners, grab a pen and a piece of paper, and we're getting ready to get into it. We got another hot topic for you. Are y'all ready? Go ahead on and grab that glass of wine and let's get on into it. Let's do it. Hey, what's up? What's up? This is your girl, Felicia Lynette, Refocused, and we are back live with you with another segment of Let's Talk About Healing. Now, y'all know we are ready to get into it. We hope you all have had an amazing holiday season, but it's the first of the year, and it's time for us to get back into our conversations, our thug thizzle. Let's talk about healing. I got my girl, my co-host with me, Miss DJ, aka Miss Maronda Parker. Y'all say hey to my girl.
Hey y'all. So good to have you back. Happy New Year to everyone.
Great. How was your holiday season, Maronda?
Girl, you know I was sick.
Oh, that's right.
Right.
Oh, she was sick. I wasn't sick, y'all. I was on the good turn up. But listen, let me get into some product first, and then we're going to dive right into our subject. Now, you all know I'm going to hold these cups up. We got a little different setup today. But we have the coffee mugs. Oh, these are not coffee mugs. These are tumblers in both sizes. I have coffee mugs, and then I have the travel coffee mugs. And I also have a good old wine glass. And last but not least, I have the shirt on today. So I have the V-neck fitted medium-sized shirt. Now, if you all want any of these products, y'all know what to do. Inbox your girl so we can get you to the right link to be able to get that product. But last but not least, I have my book, Situations, The Lies Beneath Them All. You can find this book on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles. Now, when we talk today, every time we say, go and get you some healing, y'all know to put in the comments, I believe I will. All right? Now, y'all make sure, give us some hearts. Let us know where you're listening from, whatever city and state. Put that in the comments. Drop it there so we can give you a shout out. But we're going to get right on into our topic today. Our topic today is, what is our topic?
Oh, my goodness.
What do you remember what our topic was? Rebuilding after trauma. We have an amazing special guest, y'all, because we already acting silly today. Yes. We have an amazing special guest. Can you all give a shout out to Mr. Bobby Earl Stapleton Jr. in the house? Yay. Y'all give us some hearts and stuff, like tell us y'all like him, because now not only do y'all gotta like him, because this is our pastor, okay?
Right?
Y'all gotta treat him right.
Right. You ain't got no choice.
Ain't got no choice. But listen, we are getting ready to talk about rebuilding life after trauma. Now, we've all had some experiences. Yes. We've all had some failures in life that did not go right, whether it was divorce, job, money, sickness, loss of a loved one, you name it. We've all had to dive into a situation where we had to rebuild life after trauma. Now, let me just say this. Life happens, right? Life just happened. And as we know, everybody's going through some life situations. 2023 was probably one of the worst years of a lot of our lives. But guess what? We're here on this side of 2024 to say that we were able to overcome whatever situation. So even when life happens, you got that bounce back. You got that resilience. It's in you. So seasons change. People make decisions to end an era. Death happens. Divorce happens. And sometimes when these things happen, they're done on an accident. Sometimes they're done on purpose. That's that trauma piece, Maronda. I always talk about that the trauma, it wasn't your fault. Right. But the healing is still your responsibility.
Absolutely.
And so sometimes these moments, you cannot explain them. Sometimes they are expected, and sometimes they are unimaginable. They hurt, and they hurt you to the core. But what happens when the things that we thought were once so beautiful, they're now being destroyed?
Right.
How do you rebuild a destroyed relationship or marriage or broken heart? Or how do you reveal what has been ruined? Sometimes it leaves us feeling of sadness and destruction. And we're going to chime in a little bit with our amazing co-host and guest today and let him answer at least one of those questions up front. What happens when the things we thought were once so beautiful have now been destroyed?
Co-host, you answering that one?
That's for our guest.
We're going to leave that one to our guest.
Yeah. You're the guest today.
Well, you have to learn how to deal with it.
You do.
You have to learn how, not only to deal with it, you have to learn how to piece those pieces together. I think where we fall victim is when we have a traumatic experience and it produces trauma in our lives. And I tell people all the time that trauma is something that once we experience that, it's something that does not go away. We have to be honest about it. I was sharing with somebody, once you get hurt, you will never be 100% healed.
That is correct. That is correct.
Absolutely.
Why? Because you have scars, you have memories,
triggers.
you have triggers, you have all of that. So you will never be 100% healed. But that's where mercy and grace comes in.
Absolutely.
Because it helps us even when we are if we're at 60%, that mercy is going to come in and add, the rest of the percentage. So what we do is we piece things together and try to watch this. Although we do not get 100% healed from our trauma, what we do is we try to piece it together so we can make it happen and make it work in our lives. So when people see you, they don't know what you're going through. They don't know what you're dealing with. And they think, oh, you look so beautiful, but they don't even know you have a traumatic experience that you're trying to deal with and you're trying to handle. But because of the grace and because of the mercy, people don't even know you walking with grace. You walking with mercy. Why? Because those things that could have taken you out and almost did, but it did not. And so now you're just piecing those pieces together.
Yeah.
While we are piecing those pieces together, it's important for us not to date.
Oh, that's good.
Say it again.
That's
Okay.
good.
You have to know that.
Say it again.
Oh, that's good.
While we are piecing those pieces together, it's important for us not to date. Why? We're dating ourselves. We're trying to discover our new self with this traumatic experience that happened in our lives. We're trying to heal. We're trying to do all of this stuff. And when we date, what we do, we invite people into our traumatic experience. And we make a mess. We cause them to have to go through what we're going through. So, yeah.
I agree with that because I often say that all the time, that it's really difficult to try to move on in that situation. What you end up doing is carrying that trauma into that. And then now you're falling under the umbrella of hurt people.
Absolutely.
Because you're not healed, because you're not whole, you're carrying that baggage on to someone else. And now they're trying to figure out how to love you, but you don't know how to love you because you don't even know who you are.
Absolutely.
And so you really got to recognize those things. Recognize who you are. Recognize where you are in life and what's going to get you out of that. I think is really important. As you said, I really have a hard time saying Bobby, okay? Okay?
I'm Bobby today.
You Bobby today. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get it.
I have a hard time.
And y'all may see us even on this camera, but he's sitting up higher than us, and that's making me a little upset too.
We gotta look up at him.
But I think one of the things you said is you got to learn how to date yourself. I remember going through a divorce, and I think one of the major things I wanted to do was go out of town by myself.
Yeah.
I had never done that before, and I picked the strangest places out of all places. I went to Vegas. Who goes? People go to Vegas to turn up.
Absolutely.
They go have bridal parties and all of that. Turn up, right? And for me, I went, and I was solely alone. I was completing my book. But I wanted to conquer what I figured was going to be a hard task. I wanted to conquer the place that people normally go with people and enjoy it by myself. And so that brought me, when I came back, I was a total different person. I spent 5 days there. My mindset was different because I realized if I was able to conquer that, then I was able to conquer anything.
I
ain't doing that.
Right. I was just about to say that. And it's crazy because he actually gave me the advice.
Okay.
I went through, oh my God, a public embarrassment. And I remember him prophesying to me, and it was just in a regular conversation. He said, "Keep showing up."
Yeah.
Because we want to go and we want to hide. I just wanted to get in bed. I wanted to lay in bed. I wanted to stay in bed.
Yeah.
He told me. He said, "Keep showing up."
Yeah.
And then eventually, what was big news or whatever else, it'll die down.
Oh, absolutely.
They'll be on to something else.
It's so tripped out. That keeps showing up piece, because I thought about even 2023, I was going through hell. Mm-hmm. But the one thing God kept saying to me is to keep showing up.
Keep showing up.
Keep being there. And the one thing that if I can't preach to nobody else, because you knew I was going through hell, but I couldn't tell, you can't tell that stuff to everybody else.
You cannot.
But I still had to show it up and make myself visible. So when I get ready to talk to somebody else and tell them to keep showing up, I'm not telling you something that I did not live or did not experience. I had to take my own advice.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't think we accurately, whether it in church or whether our friends, I don't think we accurately paint that picture of trauma.
Yeah.
We tell people, just get over it. Or, you'll be all right. But a lot of times when you keep showing up, you sometimes you show up with tears in your eyes.
Yes, Lord.
Sometimes you show up depressed. Sometimes you show up full of anxiety.
Yes.
You don't know what to expect, but you still show up. With half of your mind, you still showing up.
Yeah.
But it's something about, and I keep saying it because it's something about that grace and something about that mercy that adds that little fiber to the healing that we need and the healing that other people need. And when we get our healing, what you say? Go get you some healing.
Get y'all some healing. Y'all know what to put in the comments now.
When we get our healing, then we're able to help heal others. Why? Because what we go through, I don't think is just for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I remember one time we were having an altar call at the church, and the line was long. It was going around where the musicians sit, right? And I was in the line because I needed something from God that day. I remember that. I needed something from God, but the line got longer.
Yep. And we
got out of the line
and
to work the altar and pray for other people. And God said to me that day, because you gave up what you needed for somebody else, I'm going to bless you.
Yep.
And I think sometimes when we forget that we are working and we are in this for other people, and not our testimony is not just for us coming out of the trauma or the hell that we've experienced, and God knows we have experienced it, and you all in the audience, y'all, we've experienced this. And so when you come out of it, you have to be able to come out of it with a level mindset that says, I did this because somebody else has need of me.
Absolutely.
That's right.
I'm being untied. I'm the donkey that's being untied because somebody. You had to preach that.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
It's gonna be a Sunday sermon. Right.
I remember after my divorce. Well, we all been divorced. You more than others.
Watch yourself. Watch yourself. Not too much.
I'm just being honest. You more than others. Anyway, that's neither here nor there.
See what I'm saying?
But all of us have had traumatic experiences, even with divorce. After my divorce, one of the hardest things, for me, was to find out who I was. Yeah. Me and my ex, we have a good relationship now and all of that stuff, but she even knows one of the hardest things was me finding out who I was, what I liked, what I disliked, or what turned me on, what turned me off, and all of this. Why? Because people change, okay? Through time, people change. Your mindset is changing. Your body is changing. Yeah. So what used to turn you on in 2009, it ain't gonna turn you on anymore, okay? If you have a traumatic experience in 2016, that was one of my pivotal months or pivotal years, 2016. If you have it there, then my 2017, 18, all the way up is going to be different. Why? Right. Because I've had this experience, and I'm trying to build on shaky experiences. Yeah. Okay? And I think that's why a lot of our new relationships don't work, because we're trying to build on shaky experiences. Yeah. And every time somebody mentions something that puts you in the mind of that's what happens. It triggers. Yeah. And they probably didn't even mean nothing by it. Right. But a trigger goes off.
Take you right back to that place.
It takes you right back to that place. And if you're not careful, you'll be depressed.
Yes, yes. I think I said this maybe the last show that we had, that my trauma for me served as a Band-Aid for a very long time. And once I got healed, it was like I really had to learn who I was without the trauma, because the trauma, even once I was out of it, it covered me for a little bit. Like I was able to hide from it. I was able to say, "Oh, I don't want to do this now. I'm protecting my boundaries. I'm protecting my peace." So, but then now you're healed. Now it's like, okay, I don't have that trauma anymore. What do I do?
Right.
I didn't know who I was, and like I literally had to go back and find out who was Felicia. What is Felicia like? Just what you said. What turns me on? What turns me off?
Absolutely.
What do I like to eat? What do I like to drink?
Absolutely.
What are the things I like to do? Because sometimes we adapt to other people because they're in our lives, right? And we just
whether friends or anybody.
It
Exactly. Yeah. It's natural.
That's absolutely true.
I agree. So. Bobby B, what we calling you right now today? We calling you B. Which one do we call?
Call me LB. I want to be LB today.
Yeah, I can't take this man.
LB.
I mean, we can be anybody.
You can be whatever.
Okay, call me LB. I want to be LB.
All right, LB. So, what advice would you give? How do you rebuild a destroyed relationship or marriage or broken heart? And well, because he and his ex-wife, they have a good relationship. So at one time after the divorce, it may not have been so.
Correct.
Right.
What's the advice that you would give? How do you rebuild that?
Keep showing up.
That's it.
Keep showing up. Things will fall off if you keep showing up.
It does.
Yeah.
You know,
it does.
Things will get better if you keep showing up. You know, and that's my answer to it. But once you keep showing up, things will get better. Y'all have to, and not only that, I use it, and y'all probably have heard it. I use the term communication is a beast.
Yeah.
It's a beast. Man, if you learn that element of communication, and I'm not talking about communicating only those things that you want them to know or whatever. I'm talking about communicating stuff that's going to hurt you.
Yeah.
Asking those questions that you know if you get the right answer, it's going to hurt you.
Yeah.
But you have to learn how to communicate with those things. And not only that, that other person has to know how to comprehend what you're communicating.
Yeah,
if
absolutely.
not, you can just shut your mouth.
Yeah.
Right. It's no good.
So you have to learn how to communicate. You have to learn how to show up. You have to learn how to do that. Talk that stuff out. Hey, what's wrong with us? Like, what are we doing? You know, do we stop here or do we keep going?
Yeah.
Learn how to talk about this stuff.
Yeah.
And when you learn how to talk about this stuff, you'll find out the weights just start to fall off.
Yeah.
It really does.
You have to learn how to talk.
I think that's good. I think that communication is a big piece. What happens though when the other party don't want to communicate? Where are you? You know, and especially if y'all got kids together, because some kind of way you still got to, you got those kids.
Sometimes. I talked to somebody just today, and they were telling me that their ex did not talk to them anymore. So, and they have 3 children together, but their ex did not talk to them. They were still mad about experiences that happened. How can you rebuild?
Yeah.
Right.
If somebody don't want to open up, how can you rebuild?
It takes two.
I guess you have to make that peace.
Both.
That is
Absolutely. How can you rebuild?
You've done your part.
And like yes. Once you have done your part, you have to be okay with that.
Yeah.
You have to be okay with that, knowing that you didn't step outside of your element to do anything wrong. No, you step outside of your element to try to fix things. And now that they're not open to it, what can you do?
Yeah.
So that's good. So what about? So how important is forgiveness?
Oh, forgiveness is the major key. First, forgive yourself. That's the hard part.
That's the hard part.
That's the hard. I can easily forgive somebody, but that's the hard part. And people think that forgiveness is just so far stretched, or you have no. Forgiveness is just a made up mind.
Yeah.
To let that stuff go.
I agree.
You know, if she did something to me, I'm making up my mind. You know what? I'm letting it go. I'm letting it go.
Yeah. And I think that forgiveness can go a long way, especially even if the other person don't want to forgive you, you still got to have that made up mind to say,
for you.
I'm doing this for my own peace. I'm doing this for my own health.
Yeah,
I'm going to make sure that even without an apology, I'm choosing to forgive. And then even beyond that, when you're dealing with other parties and you're talking about forgiveness, you may step into an era that they may say, I don't even want to have anything to do with you.
True.
I don't want to look at you ever again.
Right.
But you still got to say, I choose to forgive you. And what if it was something you've done?
That's true.
Forgive. When we talk about bad relationships, bad marriages, or things that failed, this is a two-way street. You know, even one person may have had the big act, as we would say. Let's say infidelity took place. One person may have had that, but two people still had a choice to make that marriage work or not work. And so that forgiveness, this still has to go both ways. They may not have hurt you the way that you've hurt them, or you may not have hurt them the way that they've hurt you.
Correct.
You still got to forgive.
You got to forgive. Why? It's for you.
Yeah.
It's not
But
for them.
a lot of people feel like you have to go to that person, though.
Well, I've had to forgive people who's dead.
Right.
Yes.
See, I had to do that recently.
I did. I did.
Oh,
I've had to forgive people who's in the grave.
I agree.
And so they're not going to give you an apology.
Exactly.
They're not. Why?
Exactly.
But even if I don't get it, forgiveness is for me.
Yeah.
I wasn't sleeping at night. I had this on my mind all the time. So I had to have that cognitive reason in my mind to, hey, I got to let this go. It's killing me.
Yep.
They're dead. They're walking on. They're in a new relationship.
Yeah.
They're living their life, and I'm still holding on. I had to let that stuff go. Why? Because unforgiveness is like drinking poison, waiting on somebody else to die.
My goodness. I had to do that with my father, and it was so devastating for me.
Wow.
Because he had put us all in a predicament that we couldn't get around. And then he died. And then I kept saying, everybody was mad at the one person he put us in the predicament with. But the real person we should be mad at, we can't even say nothing to. Mm-hmm. And I held that in for a long time. And I literally had to wake up one morning and say, I forgive my dad.
That's it. Yeah. You let it go.
I had to. Because I wouldn't been able to have lived beyond that without it. Because it was heavy.
And that does not mean it ain't going to come up again.
Yeah.
Does not mean it's not going to hurt again.
Yeah.
I tell folk all the time, just because you cry don't mean you ain't healed.
That's right. Because if I see the girl today,
come on.
If I see her today,
that is not what
it's going to come up. You see what I'm saying?
You want that tree?
It's going to come up. I was going to say tree.
I know. I see. Yeah. And but that does not mean you haven't forgiven. That does not mean you have not made a cognitive decision to let that stuff go.
Yeah.
We have triggers. We have trauma. We have had a traumatic experience.
Yes, right.
So sometimes even if those triggers are not pushed, we still will cry. We still will hurt.
Right.
Why? We're human.
Right. We're human.
And sometimes it get the best of us.
Yeah.
But letting it go in your mind, it does something to your whole body, your whole spirit when you let it go in your mind.
I agree.
Mm-hmm. I gotta say hey to the people.
Say hey to the people, Maronda.
All right. So looks like we got Jaden. Jaden be everywhere, though.
Jaden be everywhere. He love him some Bobby
Hey,
Stapleton.
Don't he? Oh, I gotta go all the way back up.
We got Shirley.
Shirley who?
Shirley Stapleton. Shirley K.
First lady.
Just on this here thing, because
It's a Shirley.
She Shirley K. Stapleton.
Aretha's on here.
Hey, Aretha.
Hey, Mildred.
Hey, Mildred.
Amaris.
Hey, Amaris. Hey, Misha.
And Nisha.
Hey, Nisha.
Kara Love is on here. Hey, Kara.
Hey. Antoinette Moore. Hey, girl.
Ayla Shawn Moore.
Jimmy Irvin.
Corey Smith is on.
What's up, Corey?
He said a hole in the wall. Oh, okay, Corey.
Corey can't fit in a hole in the wall. All right,
do that.
I'm sorry. All right.
Oh, my baby girl, D'Angela's watching. Hey, D.
Hey, D.
Miss Loretta. Hey, Miss Loretta.
Midlow.
And Brandon Mitchell. Hey, Brandon. Hey, Patricia.
Y'all are hey, cousin. My cousin Kat Lockett is watching.
Hey, Kat Lockett.
Pastor Sagey, how are you?
Hey, Pastor Sagey.
Hey, Verlin Gray, our good friend from Brandon. You remember Mon Gray?
Hey, Verlin Gray.
Deborah Bailey. Hey, Deb. I can't see anymore. Y'all don't have any glasses on.
I know. Mine was blurring too. Hey, Stephanie. Stephanie Stapleton's watching.
And Krista
Corey said, I bet you won't say it. I bet I will, Corey.
Jaleesa Payne. Mrs. Payne is watching.
Hey, y'all.
He said, I bet you I will.
So listen, you guys.
That's a lot of y'all.
We're going to go to a commercial break, and we're going to come back and talk about a little bit more, dive into this and get into some points. Y'all stay with us. Don't go anywhere. Watch the commercials. If you don't want to watch the commercials, go run to Amazon and buy my book. All right, we'll see y'all.
Yeah.
You hear that?
Have you had your Earth Blend coffee today? At Earth Blend Coffee, we take pride in offering you the very best of beans across the world, blended and roasted to perfection, giving you superior quality and satisfying and flavorful taste. Experience the world in one cup with Earth Blend Coffee. To order, visit earthblendcoffee.co now.
Are you dreaming of becoming an entrepreneur, but you're not sure where or how to start? At Entrepreneurs Academy 101, our online program will guide you step by step on how to start and grow your own business. We offer courses such as how to write a business plan, how to create a budget, and so much more. Our online training program is designed for you to learn at your own pace, and there's no set order to complete this program. Because our academy is online, you have the choice to learn with a group, with friends, or individually. Upon completion of the entire curriculum, you will receive a certificate of achievement to acknowledge that you have completed the training needed to become a successful entrepreneur. So enroll today to design the life that you love. Contact your entrepreneur coach, Brenda Myers, at 601-672-0695 or visit our website at www.entrepreneursacademy101.com for more information.
Hey y'all, we are back and we're ready to dive back into this topic, rebuilding life after trauma. Now, what we did not do in the beginning, we didn't give you the accolades of our guest today. So we want to talk a little bit about him. He's a pastor, apostle. He's an author. He's a singer, songwriter.
Let him do it.
You want to tell about yourself?
I like the way you do it.
You like the way I'm doing it?
Of course he does.
He's a father. He's a husband. He is. You like that? You stick your chest out.
Keep going.
He is definitely. He's a son. He's a grandson. What else? What you want me to say?
Keep going.
Look at you. Wait a minute. Okay, let me tell y'all what else he is. He's a great man of God. I mean,
Oh, she really turned it up.
But listen, you guys, y'all get with him. Services at 3209 Greenfield Road, 9 o'clock every single Sunday morning, and then Wednesdays at 6 o'clock. He does his good teaching, y'all.
He does
good teaching.
And I try to teach from my. I'm a marriage and family counselor. I try to teach. Well, I don't try to teach from that. It comes out.
It does.
And sometimes y'all know. Sometimes I even say it feels like y'all sitting on my couch. Because
like
I think that the Word of God has a lot of people who had traumatic experiences, who had trauma.
Absolutely.
And Jesus knew how to deal with that trauma. You know what I mean?
Yes.
While the church still don't know how to deal with folks' trauma.
And he did not isolate them because they had trauma issues and stuff. Yeah.
That's
Raise them in front of them.
That's good.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So listen, y'all, he's a licensed therapist. Now we life coaches. He's licensed. He's in the clinical part.
I ain't got no more money.
Right. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm done talking. Okay. All right. We're going to dive into some of our points. And a lot of these points, I got from a Jewish website. I want to make sure I throw that out there so don't nobody come back to someone. I plagiarize somebody's information. I got these from a Jewish website because they were so befitting and accurate. And the first thing I want to talk about is discovering the problem. When you deal with trauma, when you deal with issues, when you deal with life, the first thing you have to do is discover the problem. In order to rebuild life after the trauma, you got to put your life under a microscope. It's almost like you got to look at every little thing now and see what could you have done differently? What can you do in the future? How can you move beyond that? Because you never want that same trauma. One thing I'll tell you, Bobby was joking over here that because he said I got more divorces than he does, but I do. But one thing one thing I will say is I never dealt with the same situation twice because I had to dissect my life and say, okay, I got healed from that. Now I got to move on. Now I got caught up in some other stuff. That's why my book is called Situation. But never the same thing twice because I had to go up under a microscope. So what would you say, Bobby, about discovering the problem? Give somebody your best talk of how they can go in and dive in deep.
One of my greatest discoveries was to find out that I was the problem.
Oh, that's huge. Wow. That's huge. And sometimes we are.
A lot of times we are. If we be
honest,
most times we are. We are.
So right.
I was the problem. Even in my marriage and all of that, I was the problem.
Yeah.
I don't shift blame on anybody.
Yeah.
Yes, they had their faults and stuff, but if I would have handled me better,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
That's good.
Sometimes we don't know how to handle us. We're always trying to handle them and telling them what to do but we don't know how to handle us.
Yeah, that's good. That's
You know,
good.
so I found out that the discovery that because I was looking for blame for everybody.
Oh,
Everybody.
yeah.
Oh, I was looking
You
for.
gotta
Oh, it's
find
your fault. It's your
It's
fault.
your fault.
But when I found out when I found out I was the toxic one.
Yeah.
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 You know, do y'all know how many times we see that, especially like in church? People hear a good sermon and they'll be like, "Oh, that's for so and so and so and so."
Right.
No,
No,
it's for you.
Right.
That's it.
Take your own
That's
part
it.
of it. When you're listening
it.
to something or when you're trying to figure out, you don't try to listen for everybody else. You should just get your part out of it.
'Cause it's in there.
Focus on you.
It's in
Absolutely.
there.
Focus on you.
Absolutely.
And you could find out, even as he said, that the problem lies within you. The problem is in me. It ain't the enemy. It's in me.
Enemy.
Because you can take person A and person B. Person A saying they're the problem. Person B saying they're the problem. I guarantee you, if both people are accepting the blame, I guarantee you they'll be able to fix it.
Yeah.
The reason why we cannot fix it because we're shifting the blame
Always.
instead of accepting the blame. But if person A and person B say, "Hey, I'm the problem, let's work on this," person B say, "I'm the problem, let's work on this," then we
my
can
God.
easily
Yeah.
work
Yeah.
on it. Marriage and friendship is not a 50-50. You don't do
It's
50.
100.
It ain't even 100. It's whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Right.
It's whatever
That's
it
right.
takes.
You-
Why?
you
give
Because
through
I'm not going to be at 100 all the time.
Nope.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be at 80 all the time. Sometimes I'm coming in, I'll be only 50.
Uh-huh.
But I need somebody in my life to add that other 50 when I'm falling short.
You're
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
I need somebody in my life to add that other 60% when I'm falling, because I'm not going to always be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I'm not going to be there. So I need somebody to push in. So that discovery there, that we find out, that discovery is us.
It's huge. Yeah, it's us.
It's us.
Yeah.
It's us. And once we find out that it's us, then we'll be able to fix that. Then we'll be able to target that. I think most of the time, and I don't mean to take over the show,
Go ahead.
but
Right.
I say yes you do. You trying to say I came with that purpose? I came with that purpose.
That purpose.
Anyway, that's
Look,
neither
as
here
he
nor
goes
there.
on.
Yeah, I'm looking at the camera now. Anyway, but this is the thing. This is the thing with us. This is what we have to understand. We have to understand that most of the time when we get into a traumatic experience, you said it. You have to ask the question, what did I do? Mm-hmm. Could I have done something better? Could I have said something different?
Yeah.
Could I have? And if we don't do that, then we do not find ourselves in a healable situation.
Yeah.
You understand?
Right.
We cannot be healed if we will not accept responsibility.
Yes,
I think I said it one more time. We cannot be healed if we cannot accept responsibility.
Yes.
We're in the doctor's office, and we're in the hospital, we're in the ER, but we won't admit we got a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So the doctor come in and says, "Hey, what's
wrong?"
wrong?"
Oh, nothing.
Oh, nothing.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's
We just
you're
here.
so honest.
We just here.
I mean,
We just
that's
here.
so
We ain't had nothing to do with it. We just came. We ain't had nothing to do
Or
with it.
they'll
see your
say
face.
something minor. They won't say the big
Absolutely,
thing.
Yeah.
absolutely.
I've been
To
having
try to
these
make them look
headaches.
good.
Yep.
Knowing the whole time.
Absolutely.
But you know what's so
what's
tripped
going
out?
on.
Because I had to. This was a reckoning moment for me. I reckon that the sufferings of this present time.
Huh.
But I had a reckoning moment. The reckoning moment was, I knew exactly what conversation that me and my ex-husband had that could have changed our trajectory. And I responded
Which
differently.
ex?
The last
Oh
one.
The
my
last-
God.
okay.
That's the only
No,
one
I
we talk
have
about.
to ask.
You
I
had to read the book to hear about the
y'all,
other ones.
listen.
The only one she ever talked about
Because
is the
he's my
last-
pastor, I'm not, and because we're on a cussing
think
thing,
that
we're
was
not
the
cussing
one.
2024.
No. I
think that was
I
the
really
one.
just wanted to just go off right
Look.
there, but I ain't gonna do it.
That was the
trying
one
to
that
be
hurt
the-
it the
that was the
most, huh?
one.
But
that's-
I knew exactly where and when I could go back to change that whole situation. I think about it like, if I had said this,
Wow.
we would still be together.
That's it. And I think we think about that when we realize that we are the problem, or we are the majority of the problem. We play those things in our mind and say, "Hey, if I would have said this,
Yeah.
I know,
would've
you know."
turned out
But sometimes we're too stubborn.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
Very
you know.
much so. That was definitely me.
Sometimes
That was
we do. Oh
definitely
no,
me.
I never give
That
them the
was
benefit of the doubt.
Never.
So-
That was
Never.
guilty.
Go about your business, boo-boo. I never
so
give you the
guilty.
benefit of the doubt. Yeah.
But let's move to the next point. The next point after discovering the problem is seeing the big picture.
Yep.
Let me tell y'all, we said this earlier in seeing the big picture. A lot of times we have the tendency to dwell on just what's bad.
Yeah.
But if we can see the bigger picture and focus on the bigger step in rebuilding, and who is this for? Who
It's for
whatever
us.
I've gone through, now who's going to benefit and this is going to bless their life. The bigger picture is I didn't go through this just for me.
No,
Absolutely.
it wasn't for me.
And if we see that bigger picture, then we can have an understanding how it is we should overcome the circumstances or the trauma or the hell that we've gone through.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Seeing the
good.
big picture.
Yeah.
That's good.
You like that?
Because it's so needed to see the big picture. When we see the big picture, we find out that there are more pieces to the puzzle
Yeah.
than what we originally set out for. We see the big
Or
picture.
started out with.
Or started out with.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I encourage people to see the big picture and delete bad talk. Counseling teaches you that. I have some couples that come in and they'll say, "Hey, he always talks bad to me."
right.
I said, "Always?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ain't no
That-
way.
that- that-
Those
Always.
certain keywords
Right.
you gotta
Always.
be able to
You know.
eliminate out of your vocabulary.
That's-
'Cause
If not, that other person will always derive on what you said.
Yeah.
You probably didn't mean it.
Yep.
But every time they will derive on what you
That
said.
one
They will
word.
think
That
about
one
what you
word.
said.
That one word.
That one word. Absolutely.
Yes, yes.
Absolutely. And that can be a trigger.
Yeah.
That can
Could
become
be.
a trigger.
And he'll never say anything else good now because you're only thinking he always say something bad.
Always. Here we go. Yeah.
Yes,
that's- absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We're gonna move on just because we have a few more points to go and not a whole lot of more time, and we want to make sure that we get all of these points to you. So this next one is
I can come back for part 2 if you don't mind.
absolutely, we would love that.
Yeah, I just come back part 2. We ain't got
Okay.
to do all. I just come back part 2. Keep going.
Okay, the next one is the law of destruction. Yeah, I feel like he's trying to take over our show.
It's too late.
Before you know it, he's gonna be like,
Done.
"What time next month?" He be coming back.
Look, I'm trying to figure out how I have my own show. Come on.
See?
let's keep going.
Amen.
So y'all be my co-host. Okay, I'm
The-
just no.
The
just-
next
I'm
one
just-
is
yeah.
the law of destruction.
You know
Now,
they're gonna show up. Though.
the law in the Jewish traditions, y'all, I'm just gonna ignore them and keep on thinking.
She's trying to best get her
Ain't
point
she
out.
trying to do it? Turn
We
your head.
sorry.
These don't. I got a crook in my neck too, y'all. And I mean, this man has been acting up. He's been clowning me today.
Oh
The
my
law of
God.
destruction, Bobby Earl.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Bobby Earl.
The law in the Jewish tradition is that you may only this is so good, tear down one house of worship at a time in order to build the new one in its place. The law is very stringent, and it goes on to say that the new building must be superior in size, beauty, etc., etc. When you are tearing down that thing, now that we've already talked about discovering the problem, seeing the bigger picture, because now what's this bigger picture for? What your rebuild is for? Your rebuild got to be better than ever. It cannot look mediocre. It cannot look like what you just came out of. If you were driving my aunt had this thing. She used to say, "Listen, when you get divorced from that man, don't you drive no Volkswagen and go live in no trailer park." Because in her mind,
so funny.
in her
I
mind,
get- yeah.
that's what a lot of
Right.
people did. And she said, "You can't go backwards now. You gotta
Got to
step
go, yeah,
up. You gotta
wow.
make it bigger and better than whatever you've been in. Not to put the marriage down, not to put the circumstances down, but now you gotta show forth that I'm healed for real. You gotta show forth that the God that you serve pulled you out of the mess that you were in and made you look better than ever. If you think back to Job, when Job lost everything, God gave him double and
Double for his
I mean, like a prettier wife, better
Ain't
kids,
that something?
better, bigger business. You can't just go out like no punk, y'all. You got to come back and show forth that the God you serve. What you got to say?
How you know? I answer that?
I know you were looking at me like, hurry up, I get my point.
No. When you were saying that triggered something. That was a trigger.
Okay.
Because when I got my divorce, I called my best friend. I said, "What are you doing?" She said, "I'm at work." I said, "Leave. I need you to leave." I said, "I need you to meet me at the car lot." I went to buy me a Lexus.
Uh-huh.
That was my
was your
divorce
bigger.
gift.
Yeah.
I went to buy me a Lexus. It's wrecked now. It's gone. But anyway, I went to buy me a Lexus.
But you got 2 more. What you talking about?
That's it.
Okay, let's talk the real.
Come on, let's talk the real. Okay. But that's what that was the piece. I use that word peace that made me feel better.
Yeah.
That was the peace that showed me that, hey, I'm healed. You know, I don't have to go through this traumatic experience that I'm going through. I'm healed.
Yeah.
I'm delivered. I'm set free. And so I went to buy me a Lexus so I could show her I was driving good.
But you know what? Not only does it do that, it
Just so I could show her.
It also say you thought you were gonna take me out.
That's it.
You thought you were gonna kick me. My ex, because my car was financed in his name because he had the better credit, got a cheaper car interest rate, whatever, you know. But he thought because it was in his name, I could not get a car. Oh, baby, let me turn this car over to you and go get what I want to get. And then now you're just looking crazy. Because if you don't do that, they'll always feel like, or people will always feel like something in you needed them. And because you needed them, you'll never excel. The God that I serve says totally different.
Absolutely.
And this isn't a brag or a boast, but sometimes even if it's your fault, God will forgive you and still turn you over to getting and showing and growing, because now you've come to him and say, I'm sorry, I messed up, I blew it. Now God's gonna say, okay, well, you repented to me.
And then sometimes God allows that to happen for a reason.
Yeah.
Yes,
Just so he can bless you with something different.
Yes.
Just
I
so
love
can
it when he bless you with something
Absolutely.
different.
I
Yeah.
do too. Sometimes he allows that in our lives. We're crying about it. We're mad about it. We're hurt. But God said, look, I know what I'm doing in your life.
Yeah.
I know how to get you from point A to point B.
Yeah.
You know, I know how to bless you in the midst of pain, in the midst of suffering, in the midst of agony.
Yeah.
I can still bless you in the midst of all of that.
But think about the blessing even in the midst of it. You're going through pain, you're going through agony, and he blesses you. That boosts something in you now.
Absolutely.
You're no longer, it's
Absolutely.
like, okay, I was
Absolutely.
depressed, but look at what God is doing. That shifts something in you.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
The Bible said it's his kindness that leads us or draws us to repentance.
Yeah.
It's not his steel fist.
Yeah.
Not his iron. No.
Yeah.
It's his love and kindness
I love
that draws us. So I thank him for loving me.
I thank you.
Amen.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's good.
Thank you for being kind to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his grace.
He'll be preaching and teaching in a minute, y'all. We're going to go to the next point. The next point is to start a movement.
Yeah.
In order to build and rebuild, you got to move on. What does that movement look like to you? You got to start a movement that's going to take you from what they once knew to now who you are to be. Because remember, you don't know who you are post-trauma.
Right.
And now because you're rebuilding, now you got to show forth who you really are now. Start your movement. Your movement should be big. Your movement should be great. Yeah.
Big. David said in the Word of God, he said, now that I went through what I went through, now I can teach transgressors your way.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm about to have this big move. I'm about to teach some people. Everybody who knew I failed, everybody who knew I sinned, I'm about to teach them that yes, I messed up, but y'all come on with me. We all messed up together. We're about to start a move. I like that.
Yes,
Starting a movement. And make that movement look like something that you did not come from.
Yes.
I mean, make that move, like you said, make it big.
Make it big.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Not for them, but for you.
Yeah, for you. Because it's going to shift your faith too. It's going to shift something on the inside of you and make you see your worth.
That's it.
Goodness gracious. Oh, I felt that in my shando.
Say it again. Make you see what?
Your worth.
Say it one more time.
Your word.
Because I think a lot of times we go through situations and we end up in situations because we don't know our own worth.
Yeah.
That's
If
so
we
true.
if we
That's
knew
a
our
fact.
own worth, some people we wouldn't even talk to.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Did you hear me?
I agree.
That's a fact.
If we knew
I
our
agree.
own worth, some folk that
That's
come
a
to
fact.
talk to us will say, baby, we ain't got
that's
time
a
for that.
fact.
If we knew our own worth.
We knew
Yep.
it.
The reason why people get promiscuous and all of this stuff because they don't know their own worth. You know, they don't know. But if you knew who you were, if you knew how much it costs for you to be who you were, now some folk you wouldn't even deal with.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I have
That's
to
the
apologize to myself all the time.
Yep.
I have to say, Bobby, I'm sorry for dealing with them people because I didn't know who I was.
Let me tell you
is
the
so
pet.
good.
Let me tell you what the petty me do. The petty me, when I meet somebody to date that's maybe trying to take me out, the minute I see who their ex is, or the minute I see whatever I be looking like, oh, you're so beneath me. That's what you like.
I don't think that's petty.
I break up with people. Like
that's petty. I don't think that's petty. I don't think that's petty. I really don't.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, I didn't date certain folk if their child looked crazy. I didn't.
Okay, so the next point. The next point is your.
Did y'all shut me out?
What in the world?
The next
I've
point.
had people to come to me and ask, why you stop talking to me? Look at that child.
The next point, y'all.
Anyway.
Put the camera on me. Put the camera on me.
It's on. Well, no.
The next point is your networks. Your networks. Trauma usually makes you isolate yourself. It's real talk, you guys.
Yeah, it does.
But by connecting with people, family members, and friends that genuinely have your back. I ain't talking about the fake people that's looking, just trying to see what you're going to do. But connecting with people that genuinely have your back, genuinely care about your well-being, it is important. Trauma will make you isolate yourself. Isolating yourself make you depressed. You got to still have that surrounding. People say your circle. My circle is a dot.
Wow.
Literally, it's a dot. Mm-hmm. But I can call anybody in that dot and say, hey, they gonna already say what you need. Pull up. Or where you want me to pull up.
Absolutely.
Okay, we got to wrap up. Let me use this closeout part, and I can wrap up quickly. The closeout, the crack apart or the crack open. One way you can look at a crack is there is destruction going on. Another way you can look at a crack is that that construction is needed. You got to break down in order to break free and achieve new heights. Sometimes it's a matter of perspective. If you're going to look at it and say, let's condemn it, let's throw it away because it's no good, or are you going to look at it and say it's rebuildable? We're trying to rebuild life. We are trying to rebuild life after trauma. The trauma wasn't your fault, but the healing is your responsibility.
Absolutely.
We thank y'all for listening to us today. Don't forget to share it to your pages so other people can also get healed. Really quickly, Maronda, where can they find you?
You can find me on Facebook, Maronda Parker, The Mrs. DJ, or 25 Speaks. And also on YouTube. Okay. Yep. Okay.
And Bobby, go ahead and tell us where they can find you.
I don't do that. If you want to find me, you know how to look at me.
You can find me on Facebook. Y'all can find this man in church, 3209 Greenfield Road at 9 o'clock, okay? Oh, what are you talking about? Right. Find me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all of that. You can also inbox me, life coach information. I got you. Y'all, thank you so much. Go and get y'all some healing.
Go and get you some healing.
I believe I will.
Yes. All righty. Y'all have a good day. We love you. Ain't nothing you can do about it.
God bless y'all.